I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's a winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at again with a brand new video. And today there is big news. News coming out of the Carolina Panthers. There were 3 moves made. One, our cornerback that we just picked up very recently, Natel Jamison, was put on IR with an ankle injury, I think it was. We promoted DeAndrew White, a receiver, up from the practice squad to the regular roster. And we just signed Braxton Miller to our practice squad. Now, if you know who Braxton Miller is, you're probably wondering, wait, why is he on the team right now? I can't answer that question. He went to Ohio State. He was a good to decent quarterback then. I think what happened with him wasn't it him and Cardale Jones at the time fighting over who'd be quarterback, and he decided to stay at Ohio State, and then he got moved to a receiver. And then after Cardale was drafted, he played a year at quarterback. I think that's what happened with him, but I'm not going to lie to you. That happened so long ago, and he was so, I'm going to put it like this. He's just an athlete. I don't want to call him unimpressive, but there's a reason why he's on the practice squad. And there was Braxton Miller and Cardale Jones both ended up being, either way, it's not about that. He's on the practice squad now, and I guess we now have, a triple quarterback controversy going on in our hands? I don't know what to tell you about that, man. It's Braxton Miller. Let's move on from that, though. DeAndrew White is a guy who's kind of interesting. He's listed at 6 foot. At the combine, he was measured at 5'11", and he was a guy who played at Bama who he was pretty good. I think the last 2 years he was there, he got 500 yards, 4 touchdowns each. He had a slew of injuries. He had a knee injury, I think, separated shoulder, hamstring kind of stuff. Earlier on, he was a speedster, and those injuries kind of took away a step or two from what his game was, but he's not bad. He was a pretty good kick and punt returner there at Bama, and he doesn't really have too many stats in the actual league right now. I mean, he has, 7 catches. He has a few kick returns here and there. Nothing really too much you can speak on, but he has talent. The guy can play, and he does play a little bit bigger than his frame would suggest. He was a pretty good option for fade routes at Bama, but his real strength comes in crossing routes, which is pretty good because, I mean, I guess that fits what the scheme is. 5'11", 6 foot kind of guys who are kind of speedy and can get across the field and beat man coverage most of the time. I guess we don't really have many players who run crossing routes. For the most part, we run a lot of comebacks, a lot of slants. It's not really that many deep crossing routes across the middle of the field. We do see some posts sometimes, but that's not really a huge strength that we see consistently from either DJ or Curtis. We don't really see too many deep crossing routes, so that's something that DeAndrew White might be able to bring to the team. Although I wonder if we're going to actually integrate those skills to the scheme, or we're going to fit him to the already made scheme. It kind of feels weird to bring in a practice squad guy and then change the scheme around him. But we'll see how that works out. He would work pretty good in running slants and these comeback routes. He's good enough on that front, but I do want to see how he's used. He won't be any more than, I think, another 4th, 5th option on the team when you factor in Curtis, DJ, Jarius, maybe Greg Olsen, maybe Christian McCaffrey. He'll be around the bottom end of that right there. I mean, we still have Brandon Zylstra, and we did just sign Greg Dortch just the other day, so I'm not really sure what the scheme's gonna look like. And I will say this right now, I probably should say this earlier in the video, but I did record a video earlier that talks about a certain receiver that I'm still gonna upload later today. I don't talk about this because obviously it was recorded earlier, but that move might be on the table. I know there's some Panthers fans who are interested in that player. We'll get to that when we get to that later on today. But for the most part, I don't really know how I feel about these moves. Braxton Miller does not move me either way. It's kind of a semi-big name you remember, you recognize and say, oh yeah, I forgot he was even in the league or doing something right now. It's kind of cool that we got Braxton Miller on the roster. I mean, it tells me something that Braxton Miller is not on the active roster and we brought in DeAndrew White to be on the active roster. That should tell you enough about Braxton Miller, maybe. But I still wouldn't say that we are done making moves or that the team won't make moves before the trade deadline. We're not really a trade deadline team or acquire big name players kind of team. But I wouldn't be all that surprised if the team did make a move, considering all of the one-year contracts and the expiring contracts coming up in this offseason. This is a all-out push, a make-or-break kind of year. We do have young pieces on the team, but it seemed like this offseason we made a really big push to make this a strong year. And there are a couple players and coaches on the hot seat right now. There might be another move to be made later on before next Tuesday, which is the trade deadline. So we'll have to see. Overall, this move doesn't really tell me much of anything, honestly. So that's how I feel about it. It's a kind of cool move. We'll have to see how the scheme changes, if it does change. And we'll have to see if we do trust my man Kyle Allen to throw the ball more against these Niners, which is going to be a pretty tall task. I'm not going to lie to you. They have a good pass rush. We know their secondary is. That's a tough game. Tough game for sure, but we'll see how it works out, man. That's my thoughts on it. Kind of limited, but I don't know what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on DeAndrew White? What do you know about this man? Is he good? Is he not? What do you think about this man? How will he fit into the scheme? Will he fit pretty well? What do you think his usage is going to be? Will he be someone that we actually target a lot or target decently? Or will he be one of those guys who we don't really see get many reps at all? We've been really focusing on the main 3-4 guys, if you include Christian McCaffrey. I don't know. So I want to know from you guys. What are your thoughts on Braxton Miller? What are your thoughts on what the team should do before the trade deadline? Or do you think the team is good enough right now? Just gotta change the scheme or change what we're doing to pass more? Do you think Kyle Allen will pass more? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, there's ways to do that in the description below. And as always, you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.